That's popcorn in my hair. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, my name is Esty, and I'm documenting my all-in and eating disorder recovery journey here on YouTube. It's been a little minute since I posted a video. I've kind of been a bit down, just going through some pandemic fatigue, you could say. I'm just missing home a lot. I'm missing my family, who I haven't seen in over a year. I've just had a little bit of a sad time. But this evening, I just showered, washed my hair, and I was like, okay, sit down and just talk to the camera and you'll probably feel better. So that's what we're gonna do. It's also Eating Disorder Awareness Week, or at least I still think it is. But anyway, still very important to talk about. I wanted to talk about some of the things that you should avoid saying to someone that's struggling with an eating disorder. So the first thing I wanted to discuss was a word, or it doesn't have to just be this word. The way someone with a eating disordered mind can perceive certain words is different to how a healthy mind might perceive the same word. So the word I'm talking about is healthy. You look so healthy. I hated that word. I'm getting better at accepting that word because health is wealth, and I want to be a healthy human. But in the height of my eating disorder, if I was told, oh, you look so healthy, automatically my brain would have gone, oh, I look so fat. Just be careful with the vocabulary you're using, and honestly, avoid commenting on appearance altogether. The other issue with commenting on appearance is it encourages the eating disorder behavior, because you've made a comment, then in our head it's like, oh, I've gained weight, and then the restriction comes back. In the same way that healthy can be triggering, the word unhealthy can also be triggering, because someone comes up to you concerned, oh, you don't look very healthy right now, you look really unhealthy. In a person with an eating disorder's mind, that's a win. You're like, wow, I must be looking thinner. It's twisted, I understand, but that's kind of what's going through our mind. Definitely what was going through my mind. In my mind, I was going, yes, it's working. Whatever I'm doing, it's working, and I have to keep going further. So again, just be so careful with your words. Try to just focus on being present with the person. Take the conversation away from appearance. Talk about things that you know makes the person happy. Engage in activities that are not centered around food, because food is obviously a really difficult thing. Talk about other things completely. At least that was helpful for me, going out and getting my mind off of it and engaging in social activities, which I was so afraid of going out and being social. But honestly, spending time with friends and not talking about food is really helpful. Especially going all in, people want to compliment my recovery. They want to compliment how far I've come. And I'm in a place now where I can accept that, and I know I did what was best for my body. But especially when people are just starting out in recovery, be so mindful, because I know you're just trying to be kind, but those words can really do a number on our brains. I know it's tempting to encourage eating and encourage finishing your plate, but don't comment like, oh wow, well done, you finished everything on your plate. When I was really in the height of my eating disorder, if someone had said that to me, I would have been so in my head. I would have said like, oh, they're judging me. I can't believe I ate all of that. It just brought attention to the fact that I was eating, and my eating disorder voice did not like that. So it probably resulted in restricting following that. Especially when you're not commenting on anybody else's plate at the table. Why would you bring attention to that? It's not helpful. It's so hard as it is in an eating disorder to allow this food back into your life, and when someone's bringing attention to it, it's just triggering further thoughts. So just don't be commenting on what's on someone else's plate. Focus on your own meal. Another really important thing to talk about is an eating disorder doesn't have a one size fits all. you can look completely healthy and be struggling so much internally. So never, if someone comes to you and, openly admits, listen, I'm really struggling with food, don't say something like, well, you don't look like you have an eating disorder, or you don't look unhealthy. That kind of talk is just so damaging. And again, with the commenting on weight, it's also if you're commenting on someone else. Let's say a comment is made about someone else, like, wow, she's gained a few, or wow, look at her. In my mind, I'm going, if that's what they think of her, what will they think of me if I put on X amount of weight? Another thing I really struggled with, and it's, people aren't doing it maliciously. They don't realize that this talk is so damaging. Let's say there's a social gathering and there's dessert, and I would say, no, thank you. Oh, Esty is so disciplined. I wish I had Esty's discipline. I wish I could say no. If only they knew how much I wanted to join in, and how much, my dog is snoring, and how difficult it was to sit there and not partake. Don't compliment that kind of restriction, because you never know what someone's going through. And probably, at least for me, struggling with bulimia, I probably went home that night and ate a portion of cake, as well as probably the whole cake, and then purged later, because I restricted during the day. So don't glorify, oh, she's so disciplined, because you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And the same goes for exercise. Oh, I wish I could go to the gym every day like you. Oh, I wish I was determined enough to wake up at 6 a.m. before work and work out. I was killing myself in the gym. Last year, when I was severely anorexic and bulimic, I was working out on no food whatsoever. I was miserable. When someone comments on your regime, they're doing it again, not maliciously, but just be careful with your words, because they can really feed into that eating disorder mindset. In the same way that we talk about a body being healthy or unhealthy, I know that food is labeled as healthy and unhealthy. If you know someone struggling with food, do not put a label on food in front of them. They've probably spent so much time trying to clear those food rules out of their mind. A huge goal of mine in recovery was not to label foods. And food is just food, regardless of the category society puts it in. So just avoid labeling what you perceive as good and bad food. Please, please, please do not joke about an eating disorder. Don't say, oh, I'm so full, I'm gonna throw up. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Because you never know what someone has been through that you're sitting with. Don't glorify an eating disorder. Don't say, oh, I wish I had that problem. You don't. You really don't wish you had that problem. Don't joke about it. It's not funny. Not for the person going through it. Not for the person that every day has this internal fight against food and their body. It's not funny whatsoever. Let's talk about numbers. Numbers. Talking about your weight, talking about the number of calories you consume, talking about the number of calories in something you're ordering off the menu. In fact, why do menus have calories on there? Numbers. They are so clothes numbers. Oh, she's as tall as me. Shouldn't I be the same size jeans as her? No. Our body composition is totally different. I'm taller, she's shorter, I have wider hips. Don't talk numbers, because inevitably we're going to compare ourselves. And that is never a fun rabbit hole to fall down. And something that I find so irritating. Oh, there's more to life than just your body. Oh, snap out of it. Just eat. I wish you would stop caring about how you look for just 1 second. Blah, blah, blah. I know that you're trying to help a person and you're trying to snap them out of this place, this mental place that they're in. But do you think that this is where I want to be? Don't you think that if we could just turn a switch and turn the eating disorder off, we would? It's so easy to say a comment like that, but you have no idea how hard it is to avoid that eating disorder mind. The voice is probably loudest when you're in recovery, because you're actively fighting against what it's telling you to do. That is when it's loudest. So remember to be kind to yourself, and remember your why, and remember to keep pushing, because it's worth it. Recovery is so worth it. But I know how loud it can get when you're doing well. For someone especially who struggles with binge eating disorder or bulimia, food will probably disappear from the kitchen. Refrain from bringing attention to that, because there is so much shame behind that and guilt. And the last thing someone who has just had a binge episode needs to hear is, oh, where's that box of cereal I just bought? Because that's not helpful. Chances are the person's already feeling so embarrassed and so ashamed, so don't bring that shame to the forefront. Just remember that an eating disorder is a mental illness. It is literally a chemical imbalance happening in your brain, and you can't just fix it by shoving food down your throat. It is so much more than that. Just be patient, because it's not just a phase. It's not just a diet. It's something really going on in the brain that needs addressing. And speaking from experience, when I was in that disordered mindset, I was not myself. And I was not myself to the people closest to me. I said things I regret. Just know that they're really struggling and they don't mean it. Just be patient and know that they're still in there somewhere. They just need the time and help to find themselves again. Yeah. So I think I could go on and on and on about this, but this video would be really long. So I think I'm gonna leave it there for now, but it's obviously something I'm very passionate about, and if you have questions or want to reach out to me directly, please do. I think we just all need to remember to be really careful with our words. Try not to be judgmental, because you just never know what someone's going through.
Should we say bye?
Thank you so much for watching. I hope that some of this was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.